What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be upgrading the Z31 with some brakes and new suspension. Let's get into today's video. Alright guys, as you've been seeing on the channel, I've been getting this thing fixed up. Oscar gave me this as a gift, which is really sweet. And I want to fix it up, make it look nice, bring it back to the high school days, but definitely need some suspension upgrades. Also the brakes have been through their fair share of braking, and it's time to get some new brakes. We got some drilled and slotted brake rotors. They're black anodized so they won't rust. They only, this dust will, once the brake gets pressed in here, that'll go away and the rest won't rust, which is really good. Ceramic brakes. And our friends at FA Suspension got new coilovers. We're gonna have to weld the front on these. There's really nothing that bolts on, so we're gonna have to take the front spindles, measure where we need to go, weld this to the spindle itself, and then we can adjust all our height. We have all the dampening. I believe it has camber adjustment on the front as well, which is pretty cool because I got some special wheels. Shout out to Chamorro Boy for coming through on those wheels, so I'll show you those once I get some new tires, get them all fitted. But these brakes have seen its better days. You can see this thing's all rusted out. Suspension, shocks, I don't even know if it's ever been replaced. Same with the front, I mean everything's all rusted out. This is gonna have to come out. There's a cotter pin. We'll take that out, take all this, swap this into the new rotors. That's gonna need some love in here. It all sanded up, undercoated inside there so it looks nice. We can proceed to put in the new suspension and brakes. It's gonna look really good to stop and perform. What I was thinking of doing too, I know I want to do the swap on this thing. I might be able to tune this engine up and drive it a little bit, enjoy it, get everything I need for that swap, because Oscar is working on his thing. It's looking really good. His project car CRX, it's coming out really clean. Engine bay is all painted. They're starting to put everything together on it. It's gonna be really cool for me and him to have both these cars, drive them together, getting his motor built. This thing's has seen its better days, but now it looks really good, so I'm excited to work on those cars together. So without further ado, let's start tearing up the suspension and brakes. Alright guys, so I got this all masked up. Started shooting a little bit of paint, but I'm gonna paint this wheel well so it looks clean, kind of clean up the back end plate, rear arm. Same with the front. I clean this up, you know, I'm gonna paint this, get this all cleaned up. We're gonna have to remove this whole spindle assembly so we can weld on the coilovers. There's all the old rotor, it's like a bearing style, it has like a castle nut. Those pieces here. Take this off and then we can cut this off so we can set up the coilover. Alright guys, so we're gonna take out the front suspension. We got a couple bolts at the top here, which is pretty cool. This thing was equipped with like a sport and soft mode that goes in there. It's electronic. Probably doesn't work, it's so worn out. Took this off, got 3 bolts here. We got 2 bolts at the bottom and this will come out. So I'll show you guys what we got. So this is the whole spindle. See how it comes all one piece? We're gonna have to reuse this spindle and everything that bolts here. I'm gonna have to cut the tube probably maybe like 2 inches here so that the new coilover will slip over this, and then I can weld it to this piece so that I can retain the spindle, everything go back here, the brakes, all that stuff. We'll get it set up, get this thing cut out. Alright, so now that I have it here on the table, you can see this goes from a smaller diameter to a little bit bigger. And this is the coilover that would go. So pretty much the same. See with the dip, so that's the difference there. But that's gonna slip into this piece here, and I'll weld it way around, and then I can fully adjust everything. Obviously you can see a bigger diameter, so I'm able to lower it, you know, go up, down, pre-tensioner. Also have some camber adjustment here. It's gonna be really cool to adjust the ride. It's gonna be a lot nicer. I'm gonna get this set up, measure from here what I need to cut, get this cut out, get these welded on. Alright guys, so we got the back suspension pretty much torn down, painted, looking good. This is the comparison of the old spring with the new spring. It's a lot smaller, but this is a heavier spring rate. Plus, this is gonna have the adjustment to go up and down, fully adjustable coilover. The rubbers on there that go on here, we're gonna clean up, but pretty much just sets like that, and it's gonna go right into the top of that. We'll adjust the preload, then we can install the coilover right into the original location, get this thing up. The main thing that we're going to be doing, which is the fun part, is we're going to be cutting this like I showed you. You can see a little step here. I'm going to mark this up, hack this off, pull it apart, and then we'll be able to set the other coilover and weld this up. One thing we noticed with the coilovers, we're going to have to use these bases because it didn't come with like top hats on the back. So we have the center bolt that'll come off, and we'll be able to reuse this bump stop and top plate that'll go into the back of the suspension. So I'll get this thing unbolted up, we'll transfer it to the coilover. Alright, one thing we noticed by putting the springs here, it has a little bit of play, so we're gonna grind out a little bit of this pocket, get sit a little bit better. We'll grind this down, then I'll be able to put this in, and we'll finish putting on the suspension.
Yeah, like yours.
Oh yeah. Alright, so I got my little helper here to finish off my work while I do on something else. quiero ver. So guys, another key project that we want to tackle is the interior of the Z31. It's in dire need of help. This seat looks like it was repaired at one point, but the driver's seat's pretty bad. I already took it out. Carpet, all this stuff is gonna have to go. One thing I really want to do was convert it to the original interior I had on my other Z, which was like a burgundy. I don't know if I'm liking that. I think it looked cleaner just all black. Take the seat out. I'll get them all out so we can start doing the upholstery on those. All right guys, so I got the logo all digitized on my Wilcom digitizer. So I'm gonna put this logo transferred onto my digitizer. From there, put it into my embroidery machine and load the piece of leather, and let's go. All right, so I finished getting all the samples and everything already cut up in templates to start sewing the seats for the 300zx. So I'm gonna start sewing up the bands and get this thing mounted. Really appreciate it. So make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification button for new up-to-date videos. And you know what, here at SOS Customs, we got you covered. Peace.